Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahawashi, Bashem, Harakak Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the four elect tabernacle of David, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. A clout chaser is someone who tries to gain fame or influence by associating with or engaging with more popular people, or by engaging in attention-seeking behavior. The term is often used negatively to criticize the person being described. And you got to ask yourself, especially in this ministry, is this your objective? Is this what your intent is when you come to serve the Lord? Are you coming to serve the Lord just so that you can engage in attention-seeking behavior? Is it so that you can chase clout, gain popularity? Or are you in this thing to serve and please Yahawashi, Yahawashi? Are you here to serve as a good soldier in Yahawashi? And you could tell by men's fruits. You could tell by men's demeanors, their actions, what they do. And all you got to do is really compare their actions and, how they gauge their ministry to how Yahawashi carried himself and what he did during his ministry. Yahawashi, despite doing miraculous things public, but he did them in private settings. He wasn't always public and trying to catch the public's eye. Yahawashi was so humble that even when he actually did perform miracles for people, he would even tell them, don't tell nobody else. Because he didn't want the attention. He didn't want the praise. And anything that he did do or was seen doing, he would always give the credit back to his father. So Yahawashi, he did the opposite of clout chasing. He was not a clout chaser. He did not do things to blatantly bring attention to himself. But the same can be said for certain Israelite groups and certain leaders of these different Israelite groups. All got to be seen in public. Always got to, be on big platforms speaking about their personal life. Got to be seen doing community service, marching up and down the street, with the cadence, doing little chants. You got men standing next to idolaters talking about they're going to clean up the community. Why do you need to publicly be broadcast for what you're doing? Why do everybody need to know? Why do you need to be constantly noticed? There's a scripture in Ecclesiastes that said that there was a poor man that delivered a whole city, but he was not remembered for his works. Because that poor man wasn't a clout chaser. All right, it was just in him to do what he done, and it was an honorable thing. All right, but he did not acquire clout. So I got a few examples where Yahawashi himself, he was against clout seeking. All right, he wasn't chasing clout. This is the first one, and this is what he actually taught concerning, if you're going to give alms, if you're going to have compassion on the poor, the world don't got to see you doing it. You ain't got to have a camera crew with you. You ain't got to do none of that. You're doing it wholeheartedly, all right, and sincerely. And the Lord, he pays attention to all. He sees everything. And he also knows the intent of your mind. Matthew 6:1. Watch out. This is in the New Living Translation. This is what the Lord said. Watch out. Don't do your good deeds publicly. You know, outside of your teaching, of course, you know, everybody's supposed to see you out there, you know, preaching. People are supposed to be able to come up and ask questions, etc. But outside of that, when you're doing good deeds, like giving to the poor, you don't pull a Nino Brown. Don't try to seek attention. It says to be admired by others. And you got people that's in this thing because they want the admiration. They want the praise. They want their face plastered on flyers. Okay? They want to be seen on intros and videos. It says, for you will lose the reward from your Father in heaven. When you give to someone in need, don't do as the hypocrites do, blowing trumpets in the synagogues and the streets to call attention to their acts of charity. I tell you the truth, they have received all the reward they will ever get. But when you give to someone in need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees everything will reward you. So Yahawashi is literally teaching the principle of, being lowly, low key, and not trying to attain or attract attention to yourself. All right. So he was not a clout seeker or chaser. And he was teaching his disciples not to be so as well. So you can learn these type of principles and traits from Yahawashi. We're not trying to be at the forefront of attention. We're not trying to be famous. Okay? Usually your works is what becomes your reputation. And it's the same principle applied to when you are praying and fasting. Okay? You do everything secretly. So let's go from there and let's go to the miracles that the Lord did. This is Matthew 9:27. It says, after Yahawashi left the girl's home, 2 blind men followed along behind him, shouting, Son of David, have mercy on us. They went right into the house where he was staying, and Yahawashi asked them, do you believe I can make you see? Yes, Lord, they told him, we do. Then he touched their eyes and said, because of your faith, it will happen. Then their eyes were open and they could see. Yahawashi sternly warned them, don't tell anyone about this. So Yahawashi, right after he did that deed, he wanted to keep that secret. He didn't want nobody to say nothing. All right, don't tell nobody anything. Don't tell nobody about this. Because it wasn't his time. He was not trying to receive that admiration from men. He just came to be a servant. Okay? You do something supernatural among Jake ready to go tell it all, you're going to become famous quickly. All right? And then Jake that's still in that heathenistic mindset, they're going to start worshiping you. Like Paul and Barnabas, when they did their miracle. And them Greek Jakes, they was quick to call them after those Greek gods, man. This is Mercury, and over here this is Jupiter. Like, no, and he he had to rent their clothes, man. Like, no, this is not what we doing here. All right, we were mortal men. And this is what we were sent to do. This was our task. This is our mission. Verse 31, but instead they went out and spread his fame all over the region. So Yahawashi couldn't help that. You know, after something like that happens, you be quick. You know, you can't wait to go and tell people what just happened. But Yahawashi tried to tell him. So, you know, we know Yahawashi didn't do it for clout. So let's go from there. I want to say there's one in the 8th chapter. Let me go there. Matthew 8. Yeah, this is Matthew 8:1. It says, when he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And behold, there came a leper who worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And Yahawashi put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Yahawashi said unto him, see thou tell no man. So he's telling another crowd of people, hey man, don't go tell nobody, man. Because Yahawashi was trying to be low key. All right, because he didn't want the credit. All the credit was to go to the Father. All right, Yahawashi wasn't posing for pictures, even though there wasn't no cameras back then. But you know, you get what I'm trying to say. All right, the Lord wasn't doing all these extra things to garnish that attention. He didn't want it. That's how you know this was all from the heart, man. It was the Lord was, he was about his Father's business. All right. It says, but go thy way, shew thyself to the priests, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. So there it is, man. I know there was a part where after he took those demons off of Legion, he wanted to come follow him, and he said, you know, basically go your way. All right, that's let me go from there to this one now. This is Matthew 17, and this is when the transfiguration happened, and nobody was to see this but, you know, Yahawashi and his close disciples. Okay. Matthew 17:1, it says, 6 days later, Yahawashi took Peter and the two brothers, James and John, and led them up a high mountain to be alone. And as the men watched, Yahawashi's appearance was transformed so that his face shone like the sun and his clothes became as white as light. Suddenly, Moses and Elijah appeared and began talking with Yahawashi. Peter exclaimed, Lord, it's wonderful for us to be here. If you want, I'll make 3 shelters as memorials, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. But even as he spoke, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and a voice from the cloud said, this is my dearly loved son. And because Nate in the IUIC, you know, they claim that the Son is the Father, because it says in Isaiah 9, he's referred to as the everlasting Father. Well, who is this voice right here? What is this? This voice that's coming out from the cloud, because Yahawashi is clearly on earth. So who is this voice coming down from the heavens, saying, this is my dearly loved son, beloved son? who brings me great joy, basically who he delights in. Hear ye him, listen to him, showing you the distinction. They're not the same. The disciples were terrified and fell face down on the ground, and I would have too. Then Yahawashi came over and touched them. Get up. And he said, don't be afraid. And when they looked up, Moses and Elijah were gone, and they saw only Yahawashi. As they went back down the mountain, Yahawashi commanded them, don't tell anyone what you have seen until the Son of Man has been risen from the dead. So he wanted to keep that secret. Don't tell nobody nothing. Don't tell nobody what y'all just saw. And that there, man, if anybody was to see that, you definitely would have fell flat on your face. You would have probably fainted to see that kind of glory, man. But even with that, Yahawashi wanted to, keep it under. He did not want the attention, man. The Lord, every time these type of things happened, it was the Lord himself, the Heavenly Father, that was glorifying Yahawashi. And that's all he sook. He sook the glorification of the Most High. That's why he said in John, the 1st chapter, which you had to, of course, go through the humiliation and the sacrifice first. But this is what he said, John 17:1, it says, these words spake Yahawashi and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, and he's supposed to be praying to himself right here. The hour is come, glorify thy Son, and thy Son also may glorify thee. And thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true God, and Yahawashi Mashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. All right. So after he did what he was supposed to do, now he's asking to be given that same glory, which he ended up receiving that after he ascended. As a matter of fact, after he was resurrected, and he came and reappeared to his disciples, and a few of the sisters, back then that believed. After that, he ascended. He still kept everything secret, but revealed everything to his disciples. So Yahawashi was against clout chasing, and you got to compare your actions with his if we're striving to be like him. If he's our example, if he's who we are to look to as far as leadership and being that example, Yahawashi, he was not a clout chaser, man. He didn't want that. Certain dudes come into this thing and they really try to make a name for themselves. I got to be on every platform debating somebody, showing my knowledge skills, my memory skills. Philippians 2. Yeah, Philippians 2 and 1, it says, if there be therefore any consolation in Yahawashi, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any vows and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that you be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. All right. Meaning, you putting others before yourself. You being selfless. You being your brother's keeper. You showing compassion. You rejoicing with brothers when they rejoice. You weeping or in sorrow when other brothers are in sorrow, right? Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahawashi, who being in the form of the Most High God, through his works, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High God, but made himself of no reputation. Let's look up that word reputation. And the word is
Strong's G 2758. Kanao. Kanao.
kanao. And it says to make empty, figuratively, to abase, neutralize, falsify, make of none effect, of no reputation. It says of anointed, he laid aside equality with or the form of the Most High God. Yeah, I mean, he did miraculous things, super divine, natural things, but he still came in the form of a servant. He still came as a man. All right. He sat down and dined with, brothers. He sung psalms and hymns with brothers. So he laid all that, his divine nature, to the side. And when he did show acts of it, he kept it secret. He didn't want nobody to talk too much about it. He really didn't want you to go out and say anything, even though Jake went out and did it. So anyway, let me it says but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant and was made in the likeness of men. Times when he could have showed power, he did it. When they apprehended him, holds just a little glimpse of what he can do. When they came upon him and when they asked him if he was him, and he said, "I am," and they all flew back. But then he knew that that was the time. He couldn't go against prophecy. He couldn't go against the will of his father. So he got apprehended, and they did what they did to him. And even told Pilate, I can call down legions of angels. What did he say? 12 legions of angels. If this kingdom, if my kingdom was of this world, then my servants would fight. But that was not the reputation he wanted. It says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Wherefore the Most High also have highly exalted him and gave him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahawashi every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yahawashi Mashiach is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So the Lord, his works spoke for himself. And he went and he received the glory after his mission was complete. So he definitely did it without clout chasing. So that it could be done. All right. You not trying to clout chase and gain popularity and fame, off of good works. Rather you should hope that your name carries into the world to come. That your legacy is good. That you will have your name written in heaven. That's what matters more than anything. All right, the only attention you should be seeking, and good attention, is Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. You want to please them and not this world. We don't care if the world don't acknowledge us. We don't care if the world hates us, because we're not of this world. We know what we're going to receive if we continue steadfastly unto the end. So, I hope this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all praise to Yahawashi. And until the next one, let's say Shalom.